Hey, it's Nathan. This is another Spatial Creator Spotlight, and I am thrilled to be talking today with Pia Behmuaras of Pia. She does a whole lot of things, including working as a multimedia artist and creator. She is the founder and strategist of a company called Pia, and she's the head of growth and partnerships for the World's in Action Hackathon, happening right before SIGGRAPH in LA 2026. This is a fascinating conversation with somebody who has a really unique set of skills as a spatial creator, an XR advisor, and a strategist, and somebody who is remarkably level-headed about their enthusiasm for this industry. We talk about a number of things, ranging from some of her iconic projects to what you can do at the Sense AI Worlds in Action Hackathon at SIGGRAPH, combining AI and spatial environments at one of the world's foremost graphics and computer animation conferences there are. Oh my goodness. Such a delight to talk to this impassioned creator. I hope you enjoy this conversation with Pia Behmuaras on the Spatial Creator Spotlight. World's in Action Hack.
At SIGGRAPH would be great as well, because it's happening right before SIGGRAPH and it's a SIGGRAPH partnered event, so we want to say SIGGRAPH everywhere.
That's perfect. And what a great partner.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
This is another Spatial Creator Spotlight. I'm Nathan C., and today I'm talking with Pia Behmuaras of Pia. She is the founder and strategist at Pia. She's also the head of growth and partnerships with the Worlds in Action Hack at SIGGRAPH LA. And she's also a multimedia artist who works in XR. Pia, it is such a treat to get to talk with you today. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much, Nathan, for having me and for going through all of my multi-hyphenated titles that I'm very excited to talk to you all about today.
Can you introduce yourself and the different kinds of things you do as a spatial creator in these spaces?
Yes, thank you so much. I have been in the virtual reality and extended reality scene for the past 5 years now, and my real passion was to change the world with XR, really. Make an impact, help people use technology in a way that's sustainable, accessible, changes their lives. So I studied psychology and I wanted to help people change their perspective, change their behaviors, change their minds through virtual reality. So for the first part of my career, I was all into medical XR. I was designing simulations for therapy. I was doing a lot of storytelling, which later brought me to creating stories as an XR designer. And I did a lot of investigation on accessibility, on different cultures, on different disabilities. So I really wanted to leverage the power of technology to speak to everyone. So wrapping it all up to where I'm at right now, in the last 6 months, I've been building my own company. It's called Pia, Poeia. So it's the Greek suffix for creation. And through Pia, I help spatial brands and creators scale their brands through marketing, online marketing, in-person events. And I'm really excited to partner right now with the Worlds in Action Hackathon. We did a really cool hackathon with them in Barcelona in November, and now we're going back to SIGGRAPH LA, and we're going to have a hackathon of over 200 people. It's going to be spatial creators. It's going to be people from the worlds of AI, generative AI. We're going to be building spatial worlds, and it's also going to be bringing people together to explore the next evolution of AI. So we have large language models, we have image generation, we have video generation, 3D model generation, and spatial worlds are the next step. So I'm all about exploring the future of where this technology is going and also creating on the side as an artist. I have a lot of art projects that I also really like to work on in my free time, but my primary focus is all about amplifying the brands that are out there, creating events, creating community. And I run a local meetup in Barcelona called the Immersive Creators Meetup, where everyone in Barcelona comes together. I've been based here for the past year. And I really love all the different types of people that are here, whether it's from academia, enterprise, artists. It's really cool to gather them all together. So I do these meetups 4 times a year, and then the rest of the year I'm sort of jumping from place to place, creating content, traveling, and just curating my life as I go.
I think we could spend this entire conversation on like any one of those topics. The psychology behind XR, like why everybody who cares about spatial technology typically gets really excited about accessibility, healthcare application, and like the roles that you're wearing today, with your hat at Pia. What would you say, just to like dive into some of the projects you've worked on before a little more, what would you say is like your most iconic spatial creation or project that you've been excited to work on?
I would say that the latest, most iconic project that I've worked on is a mixed media project called Let Me Feel Your Body. And it is a project where you are in a mixed reality space. So you can see everything around you, but you have 4 sculptures in front of you. And each of these sculptures is a embodiment of a woman, but they're transparent. So the user is asked to walk into one of the sculptures, embody the pose that the sculpture is in, and when they look to their left, they see one side, one avatar, their body changes, and when they look at the other side, they see another avatar. So it's supposed to be 2 sides of that sculpture's story. We have mirrors in the environment, but it's also designed to be multi-user, so you can interact with people. And the reason I think it's super iconic, besides the way we created it, I created it at an artist residency at Esperanzada here with a co-creator called Aida Corcoy. And the reason I think it's super iconic is because we've taken it to really different places that I didn't think it was gonna go to. So it started at an art gallery and a meetup. Later, we took it to a nightclub where people were dancing in these statues and avatars. After that, we went to a TEDx conference in Barcelona. And last week, I showed it at a university. I love organizing events, bringing people together. So that's one of the most iconic creations that I've been working on. And it's more than just the artistic part. I think I'm sort of producing and creating the event that it can be at. So I really enjoy all the execution of bringing people together, bringing people to interact with virtual reality. And also I love being like people's first time experiencing mixed reality and to get them sort of onboarded into the technology, seeing it as something that could be feasible to use in the future and not just like some abstract gaming technology that they don't want to touch.
Oh my goodness, right? Like the power of show, don't tell when it comes to spatial tech is so important. And, but when you get actually like into the TED Talks, into the universities, into the cafes, people are still having like some of their first times with these technologies. There's only one sphere in the entire world. There's only a couple million certain headsets. So I love that call out. I have to ask this, the way you described it, seems like you were able to trigger like a lot of feeling of embodiment, of like a shared identity, of sort of like a connection with the characters or avatars that these people were able to see. But it also sounds like the amount of technology you use to get that is maybe smaller than most people might imagine. Can you talk a little bit more specifically? Like, are people wearing haptics? Are they feeling things physically, or is just the act of like seeing and posing like these statues enough to really get people in their imaginations going?
Yeah, I think most people who have been in VR know the power of mirrors in virtual reality and how obsessed we are with seeing our virtual avatars. So we are fully playing on that fact. Technically, it's not a complex project at all. I was the technical director for this project, and I do not consider myself a developer whatsoever. I just have minimal amount of Unity tinkering skills, and I was able to leverage all the support that I could get at the residency. But what we really wanted to talk about was the simplicity, like, of having the sculptures and having avatars and having motion. So it really is an abstract experience. Most people don't know what they're walking into exactly. They don't know what the story is about, but everyone has an emotional reaction. And that is something that I really love. Because when you're designing a product, you need everyone to understand what's going on, how to use it, what to do with it, the outcome. But when you're designing an artistic experience, it's just free flow and everyone interacts with it super differently. And it can just be, a captured moment. And I don't need to sort of sell it to go and use it at home or something like that. It's just meant to live in a gallery, to be a one-time experience. It's not a game. It's just a one-time interaction where you sort of see your body in a different format, interact with the physical space around you in a different format, and then have an interaction with immersive technology that probably you've never had before.
This like very much mirrors some principles that I talk about, right? Which is like, what is the right bite of innovation or technology to get your point across? And I do think that like still people are having some of those formidable experiences in XR at cultural institutions because like they know how to do like the welcome and like the queuing. There's so many kind of like tactical parts, like the event design, like you're talking about, is so key to people's success in an experience like that. So, Pia, I love this. At Pia, you're a founder and a strategist, right? You've worked in a number of different roles and sort of industries, applying your, the psychology, the creator tools, the experience design principles that you bring in. Can you talk about how you've collaborated with like brands or businesses or institutions to help them understand and get the best use out of these kinds of tools with these kinds of spatial tools?
So one thing that I love about all the clients that I've worked with so far is that they are already in the extended reality space. So I don't need to spend a lot of time convincing them about the technology. And what I'm doing is more taking spatial projects and either bringing them to 2D format, which could be videos, audio, like things that we're seeing online, like digital promotion, whether it's through Instagram, through LinkedIn, through video. This is one of the things that I help them with. And then the second one that I'm really excited about is I translate them into in-person experiences. So bringing a product from just sitting on an app store or sitting on your headset to becoming a live activation. So whether this is on the streets of Barcelona or whether it's at a special event where people actually have to sign up and there's a process to go through it, that's what I like to curate for brands. But my job is to really show the value, show the potential, and then sometimes create educational spotlights to actually teach people how to use it.
So, Pia, it seems like you have a little bit of a hackathon problem. I've seen you literally globally hosting, participating, leading hackathons, remote, in person, literally multiple countries. You're going to be partnering with SIGGRAPH, focused on like virtual worlds and AI. Like, how can you be more at the center of, graphics, of 3D, of innovative deep tech? Can you tell me, and right, like worlds in action sounds like that through line of impact is like at the core of this hackathon. Can you tell us a little bit more about the hack, what people can expect, how they can be a part, how they can join if they're interested?
I mean, hackathon problem is very funny. I used to say I'm a conference junkie because I was just trying to go to every single XR conference out there. And once I stepped from going to like volunteering to then creating these events, it was just a huge perspective shift. And now I still love going to events. I always say I love going to events where I'm not actively like hosting, but I also have a huge passion for hosting the events, for creating these opportunities for people to come together, to share what they're working on, to create things together that they wouldn't really have time or space or resources to create in their daily lives. And they can come and learn the tools in about a week or two, because we have in-person and online workshops beforehand. Come build a team or come with a team, create projects, and then later they can take these projects and go to other places with the projects. So we're offering people opportunities to showcase their work to the SIGGRAPH audience, which is really special. And then we also have opportunities for the SIGGRAPH community to come to our hackathon in LA and check out what projects we're building. I started going to hackathons about, let's say, a few years ago. And I've been partnering with the SenseAI team for the last 6 months. We did one hackathon in Barcelona, and it was called SenseAI Academy, where we really had a focus on immersive technology, building for smart glasses, building for use cases where you have a lot of mixed reality, using AI to generate. And now this next edition of the hackathon is called Worlds in Action, and it's all about building spatial AI worlds. So this is amazing for storytelling. I'm also part of the spatial storytelling committee at SIGGRAPH. So we're really trying to leverage the power of AI for spatial storytelling. It's really powerful for people who are trying to build simulations of any kind. And it's just, I think it's going to be the future of AI. So I'm really excited to be creating a hackathon that's going to be bringing together so many people from so many different areas and so many different skill sets that are going to create these amazing projects. I've seen people working together in these like 24, 48 hours and creating incredible projects, and they always take them to the next level, to go to an online competition, to continue with the work. So my passion for hackathons stems from my own hackathon experiences. I went to a hackathon, MIT Reality Hack, where I did multiple projects and then took them to other conferences, other showcases. So I really believe in the power of hackathons. And of course, you know, of a lot of stories of people who come to a hackathon, create a project, and then start a company out of it. Come to a hackathon, create this project, and then they have like 1 year of a team from that. So it's really magical what can happen. You never know, but I always try not to overwhelm participants. I talk about, you know, you got to focus on the thing you're building, not the future of it, because when you're focused on the thing you're building, that's where all the innovation happens, and that's where, you know, you get to create an amazing team, get to create these connections that would never happen. And then when you're at a hackathon, it's not just like saying hi and waving to someone. It's really building these relationships that are, yeah, gonna glue you together because you overcome challenges together, you're going through stress together, you're really working with someone. So it's almost like developing a colleague relationship.
As somebody who has mostly like attended and observed and like supported hackathons, that creating a colleague in addition to a product, in addition to content you can take all the way, you know, to many conferences throughout the year, I super love. One of the things about digital, right, is that we can always we can show people our ideas, we can build them, and the tools we have to build, you know, fully formed products and ideas quickly, you know, today is just incredible. Oh my goodness. Did we make sure to like highlight where people can learn more, how people can get involved?
So you can sign up for the Worlds in Action hack through our Luma page. You can go to senseihack.com/worlds in action, sign up there through our Luma page. We also have an event on LinkedIn, but if you search Worlds in Action Hackathon, basically we're everywhere. So you can participate as a hacker, you can come as a volunteer, you can mentor, you can be a judge, you can be a network partner. And what we're doing right now is really we're amassing these amazing network partners that are local in LA or global to spread the word, to help, to come with their teams. It's really an exciting time for the hackathon, and we're looking forward to seeing all of it come to life. Honestly, my favorite part is the in-person part because you get to see all the people that you've been talking to, you get to feel the community, you really have that energy of people who want to create together. So that's what we're building together, and I'm really proud to be the head of partnerships and growth for the SIGGRAPH LA hack.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what sort of ideas come from a hack at an event and with an audience of that caliber, with that level of support. So cool. So, Pia, I'm always sort of curious, right, how the professional work impacts the creative work, you know, when I'm talking to creators. And I'm curious, how has your work as a strategist, as an advisor, as a technical director impacted the way that you approach your own creative practice in XR?
I mean, for me, I've been living, breathing, thinking VR for a while. Everything tends to organically mesh together somehow, and I'm always carrying insights from one part into the other. And what I like to do in my artistic practice is really to have fun and create things that I think are cool. So when I'm creating something, I never think about like how to sell it, how to monetize it, I'm mostly focused on like, what do I want to make? And then when I'm trying to monetize something or when I'm trying to sell something, I always have a lot of fun energy and bits and pieces of enthusiasm to share with the world because VR is not specifically work to me anymore, or like technology is not specifically work to me anymore. It's also my personal curiosity. And sometimes it's difficult to separate that. I really like sort of this integration into the ecosystem. And I also have a physical art practice, so I do separate myself in that way. When I'm working on a client project, I don't work on the art project simultaneously, so I can have a little bit of separation between the two. But what's really cool is that when I'm working with my clients, I'm usually not working within the headset. I'm more organizing so that other people can come into the headset. So when I'm the artist and creator, I'm working from within the headset. What's been really cool in the last year has been that I can take a step out of the actual technology and the technical challenges and like the design pipeline, and I can see a bigger picture, sort of, because I get to host these events where I'm mostly just saying, okay, these are the great creators that should come here. And I'm curating them and I'm making sure that the experience is great for them. And then while that they're at the event, sometimes I don't even get to try the experience until after. But I always know that people are enjoying it, having a good experience, getting to know the tools, the ecosystem. So whether it's a hackathon where they're learning things or it's a showcase or artistic event where the whole point is to interact with the technology and have a good time. I founded Pia because I noticed that with time, I started gravitating more from the design aspect to the organization aspect. And I kind of went from like introvert who likes to work at desktop all day to extrovert who loves organizing events, bringing people together. So that was kind of the shift in my career, which was really aligned with my personality growth.
We got to get this clip to Evan Spiegel because, like, you're a proof point that XR can, like, bring people together and that there's, like, a human connection that's actually underlying a lot of the why we're in these technologies.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I was in multiplayer VR for the longest time, like multi-user VR. I worked on a product that was for like group therapy in VR, and I really believe in the like use case of having remote people connect to each other. Once you have that experience, it's just such a transformative thing that you want to share it with people.
I, I think some of those, relationships that you'd want to have might only be a handful of people at a time, right? Like you could have quality time with somebody in Barcelona and it's no big deal. But right, like I may not want to go to a concert every night, to chill out.
I mean,
Oh my goodness, Pia.
depends on, I know people who like to go to concerts every night in VR.
I love that I got to watch the Sweat tour in my pajamas right after dinner and like had a very reasonable bedtime, but still got to experience that show. Oh my goodness. So Pia, we're getting very close to our time. I'm curious, where let's just like daydream a little bit. Pia, let's look forward. Let's daydream a little bit. Where do you see yourself and the spatial industry in the next 10 years? Where do you think this is all going?
I would really love to see the spatial industry become part of people's daily lives. And I am definitely an early adopter. I love this technology in a way where I know it's kind of an unhealthy obsession, and I can't expect everyone to have this. However, when I do put on like a pair of AI glasses or AR glasses, or even like I've tried driving a car with VR, and I'm like, this would be amazing. Listen up. This would be amazing for someone who keeps forgetting the directions. This would be amazing to prevent like car crashes. Like if you could just see the arrows of where you can go, or like see an exclamation point if there's a person on the street, get less distracted. I think that could be an incredible use case. I think there's so many use cases for spatial technology in our daily lives. And the technology, the hardware is getting there slowly. So I'm really excited in 10 years to be like, that was the type of technology I was working 10 years ago. Even if we're not like chilling at home with a VR headset, I'm totally happy for people to be using AI glasses or AR in their daily life and knowing what the terminology means. I think we're already at a point where people know what virtual reality means, for example, and people know what artificial intelligence means. Sometimes they confuse them, but that's okay. And I think that I would love to keep working on projects that use this technology for good, for personal change, for societal change, and also humanizes it. And what I'm doing essentially with Pia is trying to humanize emerging technology, humanize immersive technology, and say like, hey, here is as like a down-to-earth perspective on how you could use this technology, or how I use this technology, or how someone else has used this technology. And maybe it's not the most viral use case, but I think it's important for people to be aware of what's going on and how they can use it, and maybe all those like edge cases in industry and business that it's really saving lives and helping a lot of people, maybe even just saving like money and efficiency, and actually doing more good than it is harm. Because when we talk about new technologies, I think people tend to focus on the negative aspects, especially if they're not using it on a day-to-day basis. I think the moment we start to use it on a day-to-day basis, we kind of forget about the negative aspects. But if you're just looking at it from the outside, you say, oh, virtual reality, like people are going to be addicted to it. People are going to be living in another universe. And then when you say social media, they're like, yeah, that's normal. I use it every day in my business.
I love, Pia, that you're very aware that, right, like your interest level, your immersion, your focus on this space is maybe not where the most, where most tech users are today. And, right, that things are slowly starting to make their way into popular culture. Right. The idea of like a magic mirror where you can take a selfie at a movie theater or, at Sphere. I've seen proto holograms popping up at malls. I've seen VR arcades popping up at malls. And so the accessibility, the prevalence is definitely out there. And this idea that, people are going to have their own meaningful interactions with this tech. As you're thinking about this next wave and the people you're encouraging to explore these technologies and that you're advising, and what advice would you have for people who are thinking about becoming or just getting started as a spatial creator or maybe like a spatial hacker, for somebody who's getting started today?
And I was there not so long ago, where I was just curious about the technology, and I used every single opportunity I could to create something, to develop, to explore. I've tried writing papers in it, being in the academic space. I think that is a huge opportunity for XR because there's no pressure of reaching thousands of people with your product. You can just explore the effectiveness. There's the other side of like building the hardware, which is really interesting. And then there's the user experience and design side. Well, there are many other sides, but I would say as someone who's seeing virtual reality all over the place, really. In Barcelona, when I walk into a gallery, there's virtual reality. I think there's more use cases than we realize. It's just that maybe there's not as much demand as we would like there to be. So there's a lot of spatial creators creating incredible products, but maybe there's only one amusement park to buy it, and maybe they're not going to renew it for the next 10 years. So the demand is not as much as the creation and the potential within the creator community. So what I like to encourage people to do, and what I do myself as well, is apply for grants. Like apply for government-sponsored grants, apply for private funding, apply for opportunities that are going to allow you to create what you want to create without the pressure of how do I sell this, especially as an artist. So with like my community organization, like I apply to grants. Whenever I want to create an art project, I apply to grants. Otherwise, it becomes difficult to sustain yourself. And I also have a newsletter where I share like job opportunities, grants, things happening in Barcelona. If you guys want to check it out, I do like monthly newsletters where I talk about things that are happening in XR. You can sign up to it at piabehmuaras.com. And if you are actually building for profit, I once again encourage people to seek support financially, like seek actual investment and support from the existing community, because we're not at a phase where it's really easy to sell products to a mass market. So it's much harder to create a VR startup and get running. You have a lot of competition and maybe not so much demand as there used to be in the past. So I try to be realistic about it, but I also don't want to ignore the fact that, you want to create profit or you want to create sustenance at some point with this technology. So definitely there's a lot of opportunities. when it comes to combining it with enterprise use cases, combining it with commissioned work. But there are also opportunities to create the things that you're truly curious about. It's just about focusing all of your energy and attention, really choosing one thing at a time. And the doors sort of open themselves as you go. That's what I found.
Oh my goodness. If you're looking to get started building a spatial product, don't forget about your business model. Be real about what the market wants. Ask for help before it's a total emergency. Pia, like, that advice betrays the I've only been doing this for a short time caveats you were trying to share earlier. Thank you so much for joining the Spatial Creator Spotlight and sharing all this great information and news.
Thank you. I really hope to see you soon, wherever in the world that might be. And I'm really excited to see everyone who's coming to SIGGRAPH LA. Our hackathon is going to be right before SIGGRAPH, so 18th to 19th of July, 2026. And I will be there on site. Looking forward to connecting with everyone. And thank you so much for hosting me today.
Yo, that's great.